Is this the country we voted for? The rot at the heart of a government in denial. There comes a point when even the most patient, the most politically neutral among us, must ask a simple, burning question. What the hell is going on in this country? When tents start cropping up along canals in the heart of Dublin, again, when the same crisis we were told had been solved resurfaces with a vengeance, it's not just a policy failure. It's an indictment. A damning one. Of government inaction, media silence, and public deception. And if we don't call it out now, without flinching, without watering it down, we'll find ourselves living in a nation that no longer feels like our own. Let's stop pretending this is about compassion. Let's cut through the sterile language of migrant accommodation, asylum infrastructure, and housing backlog. What we are witnessing is the rapid deterioration of public order, and the dangerous normalization of a parallel, unsustainable system that the people of Ireland neither asked for nor voted for. No society can function if its government is too cowardly to enforce borders, or too arrogant to admit when its immigration model is collapsing in real time. And while the tents reappear and canals morph into campsites, our leaders offer no solutions, just speeches, distractions, and hand-wringing. Where is the outrage? Where is the accountability? It is utterly grotesque that in one of Europe's most prosperous nations, native citizens sleep in cars, mental health services are on life support, and housing costs have turned young adulthood into a financial hostage situation. Yet we somehow find the resources, the land, and the political will to erect pop-up shelters and drop-in centers for an endless stream of unvetted male migrants. Don't fall for the false dichotomy. This is not a choice between humanity and cruelty. This is a choice between order and chaos. Between national interest and ideological negligence. Between telling the truth and being complicit in a manufactured delusion. The question isn't whether Ireland can take in migrants, it's whether our institutions are even capable of functioning under the pressure of their own policies. The evidence screams that they are not. But still, the charade continues. Then there's the media. A parade of commentators more concerned with optics than outcomes. Eager to label critics as far-right, xenophobic, or dangerously populist, all to protect their own image while shielding a dysfunctional system from scrutiny. Their role is no longer journalistic, it's PR for an elite class that's lost all connection with the people. And in the vacuum left by their silence, real communities suffer, cohesion frays, and national trust decays by the day. We must also confront the staggering betrayal from the Labour government in Westminster, now masquerading as agents of reform. Take their so-called welfare overhaul. Behind the carefully crafted talking points about efficiency and targeted support lies the grim reality. They are gutting a safety net for the most vulnerable to clean up a mess of their own making. The personal independence payment system wasn't working, but this? This isn't reform. It's damage control. With rhetoric designed to appease middle-class voters while quietly eroding support for those who genuinely depend on it. When Jonathan Reynolds tells us the Tories were too afraid to reform PIP, he's not wrong. But not for the reason he thinks. They feared it because it was political suicide. And now Labour, with their paper-thin mandate and ever-widening cracks in party unity, is steamrolling ahead, convinced that throwing the disabled and the mentally ill under the bureaucratic bus is a show of tough governance. They claim this is about directing help to those who need it most. But what it really shows is that those with no voice, no media lobby, and no political capital are expendable. Easy to overlook. Convenient to sacrifice. The rot runs deeper than any one issue. Whether it's uncontrolled immigration, housing shortages, welfare austerity, or the sheer contempt for democratic accountability, the through line is this: we are governed by people who think they are untouchable. They do not fear backlash, because they believe the public has been pacified. Numb. Divided. Distracted. But they are wrong. The growing unrest, the protests, the refusal to toe the line, these are not isolated outbursts. They are warning signs. This is what happens when governments ignore the will of their people for too long. When policy is dictated by NGOs, foreign think tanks, and unelected officials rather than by those who pay taxes and live with the consequences. This is what happens when nationhood is treated as an inconvenience, rather than a responsibility. If politicians want to know why public trust is eroding, why more and more people are rejecting mainstream narratives and turning to alternative voices, it's not because we've become hateful. It's because we're tired of being lied to. Tired of being ignored. Tired of watching our countries become strangers to themselves while the ruling class claps itself on the back for its moral superiority. This isn't just a policy failure. It's a cultural one. And it won't be fixed with another photo op, another empty promise, or another glossy report buried in bureaucratic lingo. It will only be fixed when the public demands better, louder, fiercer, and more relentlessly than ever before. Ireland is not full of hate. It's full of people who've had enough.